Hello there, Jenny. Randy here. Remember me, right? Must be 20 years ago that we last spoke.
Huh? Randy? Seriously? Is this some kind of joke? This is a prank, right? Why do you even know my line contact?
I saw your line info on my mom's phone and got it from there. Without her noticing, of course.
Don't tell me. It was at Dad's funeral last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't very well miss my dad's funeral. It's been 20 years since I stepped into that house. I really didn't expect my ex-wife to be sitting there grieving with all the rest of my relatives.
I had no idea you were there.
Yeah, well, my mom was pretty insistent about me keeping a low profile. As a matter of fact, she especially wanted me to avoid you.
I see. I guess your mom was looking out for me.
I thought you were long gone, to be honest. After all these years, you're still friendly with my folks? Doesn't make sense.
Well, they felt bad that their son took off, abandoning your child. All they did was help their granddaughter. Couldn't just abandon her like you did. They supported me all those years. Your daughter was sitting right next to me at the funeral. I guess you didn't even notice her, did you?
Oh, yeah, I missed that. But I really can't get over it. What were my folks thinking? Taking you in and supporting you? And for what, 20 years? My God! Sorry, but I can't accept a daughter that you gave birth to. Never happened. If she's anything like you, the first thing that came to my mind was that she probably doesn't look very smart. I told myself I could never bring up such a half-wit. Don't you remember my educational background? I went to the top Ivy school in the country. I'm what you call one of the elites. And what, may I ask, kind of school did you send her to? Your local community college, I bet.
Are you still going on about that? How many times have I told you that you can't just judge people by what school they went to?
I told you I didn't want a kid, and when you went against my will and had one anyway, you wouldn't even consider putting her up for adoption. That's why I divorced you.
Well, you made the right decision.
Yeah, you could say that again. So, that means she's 20, huh? Already an adult.
What's it to you anyway?
I'm just curious how she turned out. That didn't get a look at her at the funeral, but I'm sure she looks as dumb as you.
I'm going to warn you right now, no way I'm going to allow you to meet her. She has no father.
Don't worry. I have no intention whatsoever of being her father. Forget that.
Hey, Mom. Just finished celebrating my birthday with friends.
Happy birthday, Wendy! How does it feel to be out of your teens?
All the same, nothing's changed. A bunch of us are heading over to the mall. Would you mind picking me in about 2 hours at the entrance?
Okay, no problem. The main entrance on Lincoln Street, right?
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
What is it?
we were at the cafe celebrating my birthday, and after we finished, my friend ran into this weird guy outside. Said something to her.
A weird guy. This was just a while ago? What did he say?
Yeah, like 15 minutes ago. He asked her if her mom's name was Jenny.
Are you serious?
Yeah, guy was like in his mid-50s, dressed kind of like a bum, and smelled pretty bad. I was wondering that maybe it was Dad. Didn't he come to Grandpa's wedding last month? He sent you a line message, right? You said he was keen about my 20th birthday or something. I wonder if he stopped by to get a look at me?
Well, if the guy is in his 50s, 4 years older than me, there is a good possibility it could be him.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Just don't be alone while at the mall until I pick you up. You got that? If by chance you run into him, just act like you don't know him and don't tell the guy your name. Do that and you'll be okay.
Yeah, got it, Mom. I'll be careful. Mom? Are you there? I think I just ran into my father.
Excuse me? You what?
Friend of mine went to the restroom and ran into this guy standing outside. The guy asked her if her mother's name was Jenny. Apparently her mom's name is Gina. I don't know, maybe she just heard wrong, but anyway, she said yes. Once this guy heard that, he started bad-mouthing her, calling her names, calling her mom a whore, and chastising the way she was dressed. Right away, I thought it was Dad, and that he was actually talking about me, so I had to step in to help her. I mean, she was on the verge of tears. I don't know if that gave me away, that he knew I was actually his daughter, but anyway, I saved my friend, and we ran into the ladies' room to get away from the guy.
Oh my god, seriously? Just glad you're okay. I'm on my way over there. Just stay there until I arrive. You got that? Where's the bathroom at?
The one right next to Starbucks. Hurry up, Mom.
Just as I thought. She looked even dumber than you. But seriously, I didn't think she would be that bad. She was dressed like some call girl on 5th Street, for God's sake. You say she just turned 20? You're not serious. Are you sure she even went to high school? Right when I was talking to her, her buddy steps in and took her away. Now, if that friend was my daughter, I could forgive you. She looked way smarter and very pretty to boot.
That girl you lambasted at the mall, that was your daughter's classmate. And that pretty girl was your daughter, you idiot.
Huh? Say again?
Yeah, the girl's mom's name is Gina. Probably misheard you or something. I mean, it's not every day that some weirdo bum accosts you at the mall.
Excuse me?
Are you dense? That was not your daughter. Mistaken identity.
Huh?
Oh, and that girl you accosted? She's a college student.
What? You're kidding.
You accosted an innocent girl in public. Do you really think you'll be forgiven for chastising a young woman in public? It's the talk of the town now. People suspect that it was you. Totally embarrassing. How could you do such a thing?
Right. I was just... I thought she was...
And another thing, my daughter is a college student now, too. Just so you know.
Oh, yeah? Well, anybody can get into college nowadays. Like I said, probably some second-rate community college. What's she majoring in? Gender studies? I mean, you gave birth to her, and at a pretty late age of that, too. Giving birth late in the game deprives them of adequate brain cells.
Actually, she's heading to the UK next semester. Cambridge. I wouldn't say it's a community college.
Excuse me? You mean Cambridge? That Cambridge? That's one of the top schools in the world. What? Do you have connections or something? How could she get in?
No connections. Actually, she wanted to go to a local art school, but changed her mind and said she wanted to go overseas and picked Cambridge University. She applied and was accepted.
Hold on one second. How could you even afford to send her there?
Are you talking about me paying the tuition?
Yeah, a single mom like you, a woman that happily gave up a highly educated elite like myself. How could such a loser afford to pay tuition to Cambridge, for God's sake? No way you could afford to send your daughter to a university overseas. And besides...
Let me stop you right there, Randy. You're forgetting one thing.
What are you talking about?
If you recall, I was a manager at the company I was working for back when we got divorced. You do remember that time, don't you? Or are you senile already?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Well, it's been 20 years since then. Things have changed quite a bit. I'm a successful businesswoman now.
Huh? You're not serious.
Nevertheless, Wendy didn't want to be a burden and worked part-time for years to save for tuition. I think I did a pretty good job raising my daughter. And as for your mom and dad, they really felt bad about what you did to us, leaving us high and dry, abandoning your own daughter. They supported us all these years, more than you can imagine.
But I was only trying to... Hey, Jenny, are you there? Pick up ASAP. Why aren't you here? Where the hell are you?
Excuse me?
I put aside my pride and decided to get back together with you. I brought all my stuff. I'm ready to move back in with you. So, where the hell are you?
Wait. Pardon me?
I came here to the house with all my luggage and rang the doorbell. And guess who answered the door? Big muscular dude. Tattoos up and down his arms.
Randy, I have no idea what you're blabbering about. Hold it a second. Did you go to the Village Apartments down in Riverside? That old place we used to live? Is that place still standing?
Yeah, that's right. Where do you think I would go? If you're gonna move out, give me a heads up for God's sake. Man, that was embarrassing as hell. So, where are you living now? Give me the damn address. I'll hop in a cab and get over there right away.
Hey, Randy.
Boy, oh boy, I'm gonna regret getting back together with you if you keep acting like such a doof.
I've been happily married for the past 10 years.
Pardon me?
We lived there until Wendy finished junior high. We moved after that. That was like 10 years ago. Got married soon afterwards. We bought a house and have been living there with my folks ever since.
You married some other guy? Are you serious? This was 10 years ago?
Randy, what the hell is wrong with you? I mean, you abandoned your daughter even before she was born, and I haven't heard from you in 20 years, and now you want to marry me? That's crazy! Even if I was still single, no way I would ever get back with you again. You're living in fantasy land, Randy.
Yeah, well, I was only trying to tell you the truth. I was fired from my job.
Huh? You got fired?
Yeah. We had a new employee come in. She graduated from the same school as me, so we hit off nicely, but I suppose I pushed it a bit far. Well, make a long story short, she accused me of stalking her.
Are you telling me that you got fired for being a stalker? You were stalking one of your company employees?
Yeah, and I got kicked out of the apartment I was living at too. I couldn't cover the rent. At this age, I'm just not able to land a good job. That was about the time Dad died, and so I figured I would get a little inheritance, but it turns out he left me out of his will. I was left with nothing. I really thought it was the end for me, but then found out you were doing very well for yourself, and so I figured you could.
Hold it right there. You were hoping I would take care of you? Is that it?
Yeah. I guess it's about right.
Oh, yeah? What happened to the super savvy Ivy League success story you're always talking about? So after all these years, you managed to become a pervert, a stalker of young women. Is that it? My God, what is happening to you, Randy?
I tried to.
And about your mom, she's going to enter the senior citizen home now that her husband has passed away. All she has to do now is sell the house and just move into the home. It's all set. Which means you have no home to go back to. Is that about right?
Why? Why? Why doesn't anything go my way? I graduated from an elite Ivy League school. I was guaranteed a successful life. I had it made. What did I do that was so wrong? I deserve better than this.
I think you relied too much on which school you went to and not on your character.
Huh?
Being smart and being an honorable person, it's hard to balance the two. You really should have worked on the latter. I recommend that you work on that going forward.
Hey, come on, Jenny. Let's discuss this, huh?
If you come around here again, I'm going to get my lawyer to make you pay for Wendy's child and education support, which you neglected to pay all these years. Are you ready for that?
Please. I don't have that kind of money.
Well, if that's the case, we never want to see you again. Forever! And I mean it. Forever.
Could you at least give me some money? I can't survive without some money.
Goodbye. I later heard that Randy returned to his old apartment. Apparently, he had it until the end of the month. In order to survive, he got a job as a construction worker for the time being. I hear he's just getting by. But old habits die hard, and he kept mentioning his so-called elite background, which, as you can imagine, that kind of condescending attitude infuriated people around him. Well, he certainly lost a lot of friends with such an attitude. Actually, I'm not all that surprised. If that wasn't enough, he was sued by that girl's family, the one he berated at the mall, and ended up having to pay compensation for emotional distress he caused their young daughter. All that was in a letter he wrote to me. The letter was 5 pages long. It went on and on about how the world had victimized him. I barely got through the first page before putting it through the shredder.